Hey guys, my name's Mike and I live in Connecticut. And I'd like to take a few minutes today just to talk about the book Cracking the Code by Pete Hendrickson. You know, this book has a subtitle. It's called The Fascinating Truth About Taxation in America. And it really is a fascinating truth. Pete does a great job of unveiling the truth about the tax in a way that is easy to read. Once you pick the book up, you can't put it down. I've actually read it through at least 3 times completely, and I'm constantly referring back to it to refresh my memory and recollection. Over the years, I've studied the federal government, the federal income tax, the Federal Reserve, and the system that we're presently in and under, you might say. And never have I had such clear and liberating vision as I do now about the tax. Specifically, my education began about 18 years ago when a guy that I hired slid his W-4 across the table and basically said that he didn't file tax returns and there was no law that required him to file tax returns. And at first, I was shocked that there was such a person out there. But I did my research. I went and talked to my CPA. I went and talked to a couple of different attorneys and asked them, can you show me the law that requires us to file tax returns? And this whole period of time was like the opening up of Pandora's box. I began to read fervently online and anything I can get my hands on. But pretty much all the professionals that I talked to would hand me IRS pamphlets, why I have to pay my taxes, and would point me to IRS propaganda rather than opening up Title 26 and showing me right where the law was. And so, needless to say, I spent many years reading different approaches, theories, propositions about the 16th Amendment. There are many out there that teach that the legal system is a trap, and through Social Security numbers and birth certificates and these kinds of things, we're all in this nexus, this connection with the government that we can't break. But in late 2016, I picked up a copy of Cracking the Code. I actually had it in my library for a while and finally came around to it. And as I read this book, I realized that this book was different. Pete does a great job of sticking right with the facts and leading you down the path of knowledge in this area. I don't have any victories to report. I hope to soon be able to come back and record another video. We have a few letters out that we're waiting for responses on, but I can tell you that the IRS code has never been clearer to me, and specifically the meaning of everyday common words like income and trade or business, employee, employer, or taxpayer. Pete was able to search the code back in 2003 when he wrote the first book and identify words and phrases like this that are common words and phrases, but within the code they have a certain meaning. And the fact became clear that the income tax is an excise tax upon certain activity. And most Americans come to find out, if you have a small business or if you work for a small business, a private company, this is not the activity that the tax applies to. Tax actually applies to federal workers, those who are engaged in carrying out the performance of a public office. And these kinds of wordplay is there in the code, but it was glossed over for so many years. Now, many Americans are finding out about the truth about the tax, and so I just wanted to give you that little encouragement to stand up for the rule of law in this country, and the more of us that do this, the more results we're going to see. And read the book, read it all the way through, and hopefully I'll see you back here soon.